Hi, welcome to another edition of Math with the Math Jedi. Today we're talking about parallelograms. Are you ready? Here we go. Parallelograms. That is always going to be a fun topic, and it's just a fun word to say. And for me, I always just wonder, like, how many L's does the parallelogram have? That was always the hardest part I found. And is there an easy way to remember this ones? No, not really. You just have to kind of memorize them. So we're looking at parallelograms. And the important thing to understand is that the root word, parallel, is the important thing. So we're talking about parallelogram. We're talking something that has two pairs of parallel sides. And I will draw a little diagram for you. Let's go with the color green. Green is always awesome. And I'll ask you, this is the most famous parallelogram ever, how do you indicate if there are parallel sides? Well, we use these little arrow kind of heads and we put them on the line. So that means that these two lines, that this line here and this line here, they're parallel. That means that they will never cross and they run exactly the kind of the same way. Whereas if I needed to indicate on this one, I'm not going to use just one, I'm going to use two to kind of be a little bit different. I'm using different colors, obviously. And we're saying that these ones are parallel and these ones to this one. Okay, so that's how we indicate parallelity. Is parallelity a word? I don't know. And good thing to know that two parallel lines, they intersect at a right angle. So that kind of stuff. So that's 90 degrees, and that's how we indicate 90 degrees. Which is a very famous one. Now, obviously, if I asked you what famous parallelogram is this, you would say, it's a rectangle. It absolutely is a rectangle. But the parallelogram that I want to talk about today is one that's a little bit different. And there's going to be different types. I'm going to use a rectangle. I'm just going to push it over. So imagine that you were, I don't know, the Hulk. Let's be the Hulk. How can I draw the Hulk? I really should have learned how to draw the Hulk before I did this. So there's the Hulk. And the Hulk, he probably doesn't have great eyes, but I'm making him have this kind of stuff. And he's very, very strong, right? Isn't he? He's like, me Hulk, me smash. There we go. I don't know why Hulk is doing this, but he has purple shorts. Right? That's kind of his trademark. They're usually ripped because when Bruce Banner turns into the Hulk, for some reason, he just usually has purple shorts. Anyways, I'm taking way too long to draw the Hulk. There goes the Hulk. So imagine the Hulk went just pushed over this rectangle. So if he went and actually pushed this rectangle over, that's what's just basically happened. Okay, and this is called a parallelogram because this one will still have two pairs of parallel sides. So I'd show parallelity by just having double arrows and single arrows. So now we know that these are parallel. And there's some important words to know here that I would call this part right here, I would call this the base, like that. So this line here would be the base. And then, now here's something. I'm going to have to show you where the height is. Now there's different ways that people like to show the height in parallelograms. Some people like to just do this, and they say that, oh, so that there is the height. Some people like to do this dotted thing, which means it's not part of the actual shape. But they like to go and make like a right angle triangle. And they say that, and they kind of write the height this way. So they indicate it like that. So they also can show you that that is the height. Okay, so we got our rectangle and our parallelogram, and we have the Hulk, which is awesome. You're asking, can I have a formula? So the area formula, so start writing this down if you haven't already. What's the area formula? It is simply base times the height. So don't forget that there is a hidden kind of multiplying sign right there. So it's base times the height to figure out the area of any kind of parallelogram. So let's get to it, shall we? Let's say we had a parallelogram that looked like this. So boom, 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 like that. And I'm going to make this one, say the base is 10, and I'll say it's centimeters, and like that, and I'll say the height was, oh, that looks like about a 12 centimeter height. Note that the area of a parallelogram, oops, there we go, gram, is equal to base times height. And this is how I would want my math students to go and do this. So if you're in the Math Jedi class, this is how I want you to go and show it. Show the formula. I want you to show that you're replacing the letters with the right numbers. And then you would just go and do the math. So this is actually, no, not too bad, 120. And then remember, it's centimeters squared. Don't forget this part, the squared, because we're talking about area. So area is always going to be units squared. So that wasn't too bad, right? For figuring out the area of a parallelogram. But you know, math teachers, they are sometimes sneaky. And this is what they're going to do. So here we go. So how do math teachers make this a little bit complicated? Well, this is what they do. They try and draw things, and they'll add in numbers to try and confuse you. Seriously, why would they do that? So I'm going to make sure that I'm indicating that this is a parallelogram. I mean, you can't assume, even though it looks like it, you can't assume. So if your teacher is lazy and doesn't do that, then you want to say, hey, you did draw the little parallel signs. So we have to do that. And I'm going to go and add some numbers in. Now here, this is where teachers start just to kind of be a little bit vague. So I'm going to say this is 5. I'm going to say this is, I don't know, 18. And I'm going to say this is 16. Ooh. So when you're a student and you're looking at this and you're saying, okay, so the area of a parallelogram, I know that the formula is base times height. So I need to go and obviously replace this with the base and the height. And you're thinking like, well, which one is the height? Which one is the base? Well, the base is pretty easy. Most kids usually get that one. Okay, they're like, okay, that's 5. But when it comes to the height, they look at this and they go, oh, which one's the height? Some kids will actually write down this one. Well, you'll learn later on that this is called the slant height in some kind of objects, but this is not the height. This is just the length of that side. The height is actually right here, indicated by that. So you have to be able to decipher diagrams. So you go 5 times 18, and I think that's going to give you, what, 90? And did you notice I didn't write down any kind of units? Well, that's just to see if you're paying attention. If your teacher doesn't do that, you have to write down units squared anyways, because you don't know what they are, but you need to indicate that those units are being squared. Now, how do we kick it up a notch? Let's kick it up a notch, shall we? Yeah, that's going to be exciting. Let's kick it up a notch. And should we bring in Iron Man? I'm really bad at drawing Iron Man. I think he has like blue eyes, doesn't he? Isn't Iron Man mostly blue? And then Iron Man, oops, he's not blue that way, right? He's got red, and he likes to have the. This is a horrible drawing, by the way. This is just a guy in a red shirt right now. What it has turned into is a guy in a red shirt who's going to have blue glowy stuff. And maybe he has like rockets for feet. So let's go and add the rockets. That's yellow, so he's flying. It'd be awesome to be Iron Man, I think. And of course he has like the reactor that keeps him alive. And then he shoots, doesn't he shoot like blue stuff out of his hands? Yep, that's Iron Man. He's happy today. Okay, so he's gonna like, how are we gonna make this harder? Well, we're gonna go and do kind of a complex shape. So imagine I had a parallelogram, and inside my parallelogram I had a rectangle. And I want to know, what is the area of the shaded part. Now you might be sitting at home saying, wait a second, there's nothing shaded. I know, just wait. So there we go, nice little shading, and we're all good. And you're also saying, hey, he didn't shade that they're parallel. Haha, I caught him. Just give me a moment. I'm saying that's parallel to that. And, oh wow, there's a lot of parallel sides. And these are parallel. And ding, ding. Oh, 3, a triple. Boom, boom. Let's go and add some numbers. I'll say this is 20. I'll say this is. I'll say this is 15. And I'll say this is 18. And I'll say this is, I don't know, it looks like about 6. And this looks like about 4. Okay, so let's start doing the math. I would want to see something that you guys know. The formula is base times height. And for this one, you're going to do not only the area of a base times height, you're going to subtract another base times height, aren't you? That's pretty cool. Because you need to subtract the whole right here, don't you? You definitely do. So let's go and do this. And so we're gonna use some square brackets because that's neat. And don't get freaked out by having square brackets. And I'm gonna go and just fill in the numbers here. So the base of the big green shaded part is 20, and the height, don't get tricked, it's 18. And the base of this one is going to be 6, and that one's going to be 4. Okay, so let's go and do our math. What's 20 times 18? I think that's going to be 360. We're going to subtract 24. And then I'm going to try to do that in my head. So hey, just a little fun thing. In my head, I go 360 and I go subtract 20. This is what I actually do in my head. I get 340. But I got to subtract the other 4. So that's easy. What's 4 less than that? That's just 336. Boom. Oh, don't worry. Units squared. All right. There you go, my Avenger superhero math students. Thanks everybody for tuning in to another edition of Math with the Math Jedi. Hopefully you learned a little bit about parallelograms. Go and subscribe over there, or go watch another video and learn more about the wonderful world of math. Until next time, have a great day.